What makes a game sad? The narrative. As the role of being a game developer, it is your choice at choosing what emotion you want the player to feel. A game that is story rich and has a lot of character development mixed in with psychological horror can essentially be the base game to starting a heartfelt, emotional and bittersweet game. My prime example of a game that captures this emotion well is OMORI. This game captures sadness from the perspectives of the characters and how the player may relate and sympathise. The narrative is arguably the very foundation for immersing the player. So, what's so special about the narrative? You see, the narrative allowed OMORI to build both a colourful and bright game, but also touch on a sensitive topic, which is possibly important to many that play this game. This involves isolation, mental health and, importantly, moving on and growing up. For this segment of the video, I will be giving my thoughts and my interpretations on what I believe are songs that make the player feel sadness. Also to note that there are plenty of other songs I could have picked, but these songs in particular stood out to me. Starting off with one of the most emotional songs in the game, Duet. This song was composed by Pedro Silva. I will send a link to their socials in the description, as well as Jamie Lynn, who helped compose songs such as Good Morning. However, back to the main topic at hand, Duet is a really powerful song because it gives the music enough reverb to give it space for the player to take in the music from the piano. When you add the violin at just the right moment, it gives it the centre of attention and focuses on the violin playing in a bittersweet tone, whilst the soft piano is in the back. Here's a snippet of this song. The next song I will talk about plays when you complete the game. The song is called Good Morning, and this was made by Pedro Silva as well as Jamie Lynn. Even without this knowledge, the retro vibe it gives off and the chords that are played gives off that finale or moving on type of vibe. Now, my theory of how they did this so well is because of how compressed the main chorus sounds. It is also really fitting as the game is a pixelated game, which also supports the idea of it being a retro vibe. The sound font they chose was on purpose to symbolise the ending of the game with a bittersweet yet calming song. Now, in particular, there are multiple endings. However, this is just one of many endings. Here's the song that I am referring to. On to the next song is A Home for Flowers, particularly the Sunflower version. This song is a character themed song and there are 4 different versions of this song. It just happens to be that I picked this very song for the theme sadness, because it sounded the closest to emotional and also is pretty eerie out of all of the 4 songs. The specific choice that Pedro Silva chose, the beat per minute being usually slower than the other 3 versions of this, also On top of that, the shakiness and the uneasiness in the notes that the piano plays. Here's a snippet of this song. This song is a different version to the original white space that is played in the prologue. Moving on, this song is a different version to the original white space that is played in the prologue. This version has a higher pitch and a reverb to make it sound softer. This resembles the feeling of isolation and only having you and your thoughts to accompany you. For example, regrets being one of the many thoughts in particular. Here is a snippet of this song. The next song we will talk about is called Lost Library. If my memory serves me correct, this plays much later into the game, where the player finds themselves in a lost library full of interesting books. This song starts off with being uncanny and relaxing, but throughout the song, the higher pitched notes manage to sneak their way through in and they become more frequent, to show the sadness that is hidden within layers of this song. This song starts off with being uncanny and relaxing, but throughout the song, the higher pitched notes are played at a more frequent pace to show the sadness that is hidden within layers of this song. The way that I interpret this is almost as if the sadness is lost within the song itself. Same way could be said about the memories that are lost in this library. Here's a snippet of this song. Now, unlike the previous songs I've mentioned, this song in particular has the most consistent feeling of eeriness because of the distorted noises in the background and the very harsh melody from the violin. The violin does make it sound sad, and as a sound designer or a composer you may pick this up and understand why this would be included in a very important part of the game, which you will find out for yourselves if you play the full game. Now, I'd like to wrap this up with mentioning that the links that I've chosen for my own research and for my own interpretations, there's a OMORI Wiki that you can check out below. It has all of the information that you may need to know, but I will give a spoiler warning that the website already does, but if you do manage to not see that, here's a spoiler warning now. And lastly, I'll wrap up with the summary. The game focuses on Omori, a depressed young boy who spends time with his friends Aubrey, Kel and Hero. Together they go on adventures while helping others along the way. He wonders why his friends would want to be someone as horrible as him. But Omori recalls a time when he was not always like this. Explore a strange world full of colourful friends and foes. When the time comes, the path you've chosen will determine your fate and perhaps the fate of others as well. And that is the end. Cue the music.